This lake in Africa's Great Lakes region is the 8th largest on the continent and an economic engine for the communities around it.
The Lake Kivu that offer a very good view and opportunity for relax, for the tourism, but also for the transport.
From energy to fishing, from water sports to tourism, Lake Kivu drives growth and opportunity.
Geographically, Lake Kivu is a very big natural resource shared between the two countries.
This is Lake Kivu, a hotspot of transformation. Rwanda, a landlocked country in Central Eastern Africa, has long faced challenges in reaching global markets. Yet, it is determined to turn this geography into opportunity. Through dry ports, inland ports, and now water ports, Rwanda is reimagining itself as a logistics and distribution hub.
Naturally, we call it landlocked, but now Rwanda is land-linked because of access. We have been investing in logistics. We do have this Rubavu port, we have inland port, we have Kigali logistic platform which serve operators as any port can serve them. So all these facilities are there to promote international trade, both imports and export, and also make Rwanda a distribution hub because when you look at the statistics, let's say 1/3 of what we import is for export. So if Rwanda becomes a distribution hub, then eventually all importers will have to import through Rwanda but to target other regional markets.
One strategy is investing in water transport and building modern ports along Rwanda's lakes to strengthen regional trade and reduce costs.
Well, we need to develop ports because we have inland water bodies, and these inland water bodies help to diversify transport. For example, we have Lake Kivu, which is quite extensive, and it also connects us to DRC. So, and also along the shore, we have different districts that we need to connect through water transport. So for Lake Kivu, the big vision is to diversify transport and also to shift to have more modes of transport, because in Rwanda we extensively have the road transport, but we need also inland water transport, because especially for transporting heavy cargo, so it's more environmentally friendly, and it's even cheaper to use water transport.
On Rwanda's western frontier, Lake Kivu has always been a corridor of exchange, shared by 6 districts: Rubavu, Nyabihu, Rutsiro, Karongi, Nyamasheke and Rusizi, and are forming a natural border with the Democratic Republic of Congo. Lake Kivu is being transformed into a trade and tourism lifeline.
In a way, Lake Kivu is not only a natural resource benefiting Rwanda. We are sharing Lake Kivu with our neighbors, DRC mainly, but also even Burundi, because if you see geographically, you know, there is a river exiting Lake Kivu, entering to Tanganyika. So we are also feeding their water system as well. But geographically, Lake Kivu is a very big natural resource shared between the two countries, with a lot of potential in terms of natural resources. We know it has gas. We know it has, or it accommodates the biodiversity, including fish and other marine resources. We also, and they are, you know, if you consider the size, its size, we can count up to 6 district of Rwanda, like bordering the Lake Kivu. So you can imagine 6 districts, which is, you can estimate more than 2 million of people, living around that corridor. So it's a lot. Now, when we relate to trade and regional integration, when you go there, actually, you see it with your own eyes, because when you see people crossing the border, crossing water, like coming with boats, crossing from DRC or from Rwanda to DRC, you understand the magnitude of transaction between the two regions, where people are exchanging goods and services, people are living across, and they make their life around the lake. So you understand that it's not a resource to neglect, rather it's a resource to value. And the best way to value it is to put ports around the lake, so that any movement of people can be facilitated. Now, when I relate to the intra-country transport, I'm looking at the Rwanda side only. So if those 6 districts can transact among themselves, it will be a very good opportunity for them. Remember, when we say the water transport is highly cheaper than the road or air transport. So it means if we could transport goods, commodities from Rusizi to Rubavu, by water, it can reduce the cost by 60% less compared to the roads. So it means if we could be transporting any commodity from Rusizi to Rubavu, that cost saving will make the product very competitive. And so many other simulation can be done. If someone would want to travel, the normal travel without even relating to the business exchange, it will be cutting costs for people. And now we understand how tourism is also related to that. And the entire region, I would say, using Lake Kivu, it would enable the cruise boats, it will enable the ferries, but also remember, there is another sector which actually, now, more particular now, people would understand it, the water sport business. It's not so much developed, but if we have the different terminals and ports, the water sport business can also increase and be a tourism revenues for people living around, but also for the country in general.
For lakeside towns like Rubavu and Rusizi, the lake is more than scenery. It is the engine of their economies.
So beyond those natural forests, we have also the Lake Kivu that offer a very good view and the opportunity for relax, for the tourism, but also for the transport. So from Rusizi to Karongi and Rubavu, you can go through the lake. You can see how beautiful the lake is, and also it's time to relax. So you are able now to navigate from the southern part of the western province to the northern part, which is the Rubavu. So it has many potentials, and again, not only the tourism within the country, but also it offers opportunity for tourists to go beyond our boundaries in the DRC or in Burundi.
On December 6, 2024, Rwanda opened its first port on Lake Kivu, a landmark moment to unlock trade, ease movement of goods, and improve lives. It was the first of 4 planned ports.
From the time it started functioning, we have jobs created already. We have made in Rwanda products passing by here, reaching different locations in DRC and in Rwanda as well. It's a port connecting Rwanda to DRC, but also it's a port that improves the livelihoods of Rubavu citizens. Let us celebrate this milestone and work together to ensure this port drive prosperity and strengthens partnership across this region.
This port is a product of your tireless efforts and the collaborative spirit. We look forward to keeping this heroic spirit in the journey towards our country's vision. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, Rubavu Port is one of the 4 ports to be constructed in Lake Kivu in line with the national strategy for transformation. The government of Rwanda has outlined plans to construct 4 ports along Lake Kivu by 2029, aiming at decreasing business costs and boosting trade as a part of national strategy for transformation. While Rwanda has been investing a large share of its public funds in infrastructure development and services, there remains a large infrastructure gap in the country. Nevertheless, the government has put in place an enabling environment to attract private sector and leverage its funding to bridge the gap that occurs predominantly in the infrastructure transport sector. It is now my honor and privilege to officially declare the Rubavu Port inaugurated. Thank you all.
Months later, the Rubavu Port is fully operational, already transforming local trade.
Yes, the port has been a value addition. You know, the maritime trade was somehow not functional. It was only rudimental. It was only about the construction materials from Rutsiro, from Rubavu, the sand. But now we have the port. It has now increased the speed to load and unload. We can at the same time load 6 boats, and each of them can just accommodate more than 1,000 tons. It can just replace 35 trucks, long trucks. So these are being transported to the other parts of DRC that were not accessed before. We used to transact with Goma and Bukavu only. But now, with that port, we transact with others like Minova and those cities far from Goma, which are not connected by good roads between Goma and Bukavu. We access them directly because of that port. So, and it has created new jobs. Now we have 4 cooperatives of young men and women there supporting those activities, loading, unloading, all the time, permanently. That is one of the impact there. And it has increased the exports. You know, we now export the cement fabricated from Rwanda, from our local industries, from Musanze and Muhanga. We export our iron sheets. We export our construction materials produced by Rwandan factories. So if you go there, you will see made in Rwanda is now increasing because of that port, but also without excluding the transit goods, because we used to see to eye at the La Corniche border and the Poilour, but now that is a new border. So being a new border, it facilitates the navigation of the Lake Kivu.
With the capacity to handle both cargo and passengers, the port is boosting competitiveness and efficiency.
Rubavu Port is able to transport around 2.7 million people per year. It also is able to host 700,000 tons per year of cargo. The Rwanda National Strategy for Transformation we need to enhance trade. So we need to change the mode to also increase the modes of transport, so that we increase the trade be it on the road and also on the water, on the inland water transport. So we are trying to improve transport by the lake and to boost business. You see, we have the traders along the coast who have been doing it in a very local way. So the port is bringing in more business. It's allowing the people there to access to jobs, access to different capacities, and also the fact that the port is able to store a lot of cargo. It's also increasing capacity at the port to do business, be it with Congo, be it with many other regions along the lake.
Further south, Rusizi is preparing for its own port. For this border town linked to eastern DRC, the project is a long-awaited game changer.
Yeah, that Kivu port will be another big opportunity for Rusizi town and Rusizi district in general to open out to the entire western district, the western province, but also with our neighbor, the east of DRC. So this port, once it is completed, it will be accommodating ships from both sides, and it will be modernized in a way. It will have automated service in a way. It will be accommodating ships at two ships at a time, while offloading and unloading, meaning that it will facilitate the movements, but also it will also increase the volume of goods transiting in our district. So if we were used to use the trucks from Rusizi to Rubavu and vice versa, then with the with lake and the port, we can even have 10 times the volume that can be channeled through the road. So it will really help a lot. And again, the employment. As you can see, it is now at the final stage to be completed, but throughout its construction, it has employed many people, and once it is done, it will have one-stop border office where it will also accommodate custom offices. So if you want to cross to the DRC, you will not go to the Rusizi border post as it used to be, but there will be customs office, and the people will use it to cross without delaying.
These investments are part of Rwanda's long-term strategy under NST2 to modernize infrastructure and become a regional logistics hub.
So it's just about ease of doing business, right? Setting up the facilities that I mentioned earlier, so that the businessmen don't have to go through those hurdles as they're transacting. If you bring down the cost of logistics, you bring down the cost of business, and it will make it easier for businesses to be more successful.
The strategy is to boost, first of all, internal trade, because Rubavu now can easily be linked with Rusizi. If you want to ship bulk products, instead of using Kivu Belt Road, it will be much easier and much cheaper to use the port of Rubavu and then ship to Rusizi. At the same time, we are building another port in Rusizi, which is under construction. Hopefully it will be completed before end of this year. So once we have those two ports, then we are first contributing to internal trade, linking the two sides of the country. Then secondly, those ports will also give us access to the regional market, because we can use those ports to export to DRC, we can use those ports to export to Burundi, and we can also use these ports to re-export whatever comes through Rwanda to those neighboring countries.
The Lake Kivu port could turn Rwanda into a regional hub for trade, for tourism, cutting costs for transport costs. We've been spending a lot on road transport. It is also another opportunity to create jobs in those regions, because you can imagine if you have a port with transport for people, but also for commodities, so it creates jobs. Actually, I can say the different terminals of the port will be an opportunity for the local citizen to create jobs, but also a way to access market in those regions. We know how much it is very difficult for farmers living in those areas. You can see when you visit, let's say, Karongi districts, when you visit Nyamasheke districts, there are farmers who produce a lot, but when you see how they're accessing the market, it's still a challenge. And it can even discourage them to invest more in production. But if they can access that regional transport channel, then it will be much easier for them to produce and then to sell to the market. And again, remember, we are talking about, I would say, the ports, which are the terminals, serving big cities like Rubavu and Goma. The two cities combined together, we are talking about more than 2 million of people to be fed, actually. If we look at the other side, Rusizi and Bukavu, we are talking about 3 million people living in those cities, which mean for any commodities, any production coming from remote districts around Lake Kivu, going to those directions, will be served to the very big market. So it's, for me, I see it as an opportunity to unlock our farmers in those districts and allow them to access big markets.
With partners like Trademark Africa, Rwanda is connecting its local vision to continental ambitions under the Africa Continental Free Trade Area.
So these ports are also part of the Rwanda's plan to strengthen regional cross-border trade. And these ports, they also plug into the regional corridors. So when you look at the corridors of Rubavu and Goma and the Rusizi-Bukavu corridors, they're also connected to the corridors in the regional and to the regional corridors, especially the corridors in the Great Lakes region. So those ports not only plug into the regional port, but they also provide a multimodal transport. So combining road transport with lake transport, that makes a real connectivity so that it allows traders, exporters, and even those big factories to be able to move their goods to bigger markets that are under CFTA. So the ports are exactly the part of the plan for strengthening the cross-border trade.
For Rwanda, logistics is not just about moving goods. It is about positioning the nation as a gateway for East and Central Africa.
For this particular port, we have conducted the feasibility study, so we are addressing real issues. There is a need of a port infrastructure that can support the movement of goods between the districts, also between Rwanda and DRC. So what we do, we work with our development partners for this project. We were supported by the FCDO and the Netherlands to make sure that we implement the project that will have impact, and also we have been partnering with the government of Rwanda. So this project, it cannot be a white elephant because it is really addressing the real issues, and we have also been working with the private sector to make sure that they use the port. It reduces costs, it reduces the gas emissions, and it also provides a safe environment for doing business. So with all that, and with also putting the capacity building in place to make sure that people who are using the port, they really have the capacity, and also attracting investors, especially for operating the ferries. And this makes it an investment that is that is needed.
You see, because we have limited transport alternatives, having water transport, boosting the water transport in the lake is going to help with that. And also it's going to reduce on the wear and tear of the roads. You know, all the cargo just uses the road, most of it. So if we have a very coordinated transport in the water, in the lake, we will have goods coming from Rubavu to Rusizi, to Mhora, to Karongi, and even across to Congo. So that water transport is going to also reduce on the impact on the roads, and it will help boost our economy, because now the funding that is used to maintain roads, to build roads again and again, water transport is much cheaper. The broader vision is all our water bodies in Rwanda. We are looking for land sites where we can, even if we don't build a huge port or anything, but we have land sites where water transport can be conducted conducively, and can allow local producers to be able to shift goods from one side to another without necessarily contouring around the road. Especially for the farmers and the producers, maybe the people who want to transport milk and other goods that wouldn't take long on the road, can be able to cross over using the water transport in a very safe manner.
Lake Kivu is more than water and waves. It is becoming a bridge linking communities, creating opportunities, and building prosperity. For Rwanda, this is a step towards being not just landlocked, but land-linked and even lake-linked, part of a connected and thriving region.